Hello all and welcome back to Apt for You. In this particular video we will be discussing a new problem from trees, and basically the problem is about finding the top view of a binary tree. So we have already come across two videos wherein we have found the left view of a tree as well as the right view of a binary tree. In this particular video we are going to focus on the top view of binary tree. Now what does top view actually mean? So given a tree, suppose we have 1, 2 and 3, and suppose here 4, 5 and 6. So given this tree, if this tree is viewed from above or from top, right, so basically we are trying to watch this tree from top. So what will be the nodes which are actually visible in this case? So it's clear that node 2, node 1, 3 and 5 will be clearly visible, right? But we will not be able to view node 4 or view node 6. So this node will not be visible and this node will not be visible if this tree is viewed from the top point. Why? Because these nodes are basically, their vision is hidden by the nodes above it. Node 1 basically superimposes this node, right? Exactly in front of this node is node 1 and exactly in front of node 6 is node 3. So basically we find out that only node 2, 1, 3 and 5 will be visible, right? Fine. So this will be basically our top view, which is 2, 1, 3, 5 and that's it. No other nodes are visible, only these 4 nodes are visible, and hence our output should be 2, 1, 3 and 5. Similarly in this case you can clearly see this is the tree that is given, and if you are asked to find out the top view, you will be able to view only node 4, node 2, node 1, node 3 and node 7. That is 4, 2, 1, 3, 7. You have to write it from leftmost node to the rightmost node. This is the order you have to follow for printing it. So starting from 4, 2, 1, 3, 7. Got the point? The outer boundary. This is what you are going to print it, right? The nodes which are actually visible. Let us get into a more in-depth intuition to basically understand the problem and the logic that we will be using to solve this particular problem. So what is the logic that we are actually going to use to solve this particular problem? Now if I draw the tree again, we have a node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5. The diagram is really very important because you will understand with the help of diagram only. Great, it looks good. So basically if you focus on these nodes, the entire tree, right, let us assume that let us use a graying. Fine. So let us assume that we are trying to represent these nodes on the number line. Okay, let us represent these nodes on a number line. So basically you can see, so if I have a number line, then this node, basically this node, root node, the root node of the tree, I will assume it to be at point 0, and the left child of that node, okay, the left child of any node will be at position 1 less than the root node. So the left child of this node will be basically 1 that is 2, and it will basically be 1 less than the address of this node. So address of this node is 2, means on the number line, so this position will be -1. The right child of this will be at position 1 more than the parent node's address, so +1. So the address of this node will be basically 1 more than its parent address. So its parent address is at point 1, so this will be at point 1 + 1, that is 2 on the number line. The address of this node will be basically 1 less than its parent's address. So its parent address is 2, it will be 1 less than 2, that is 1, right? The address of this node will be 1 less than its parent's address because this is the left child of its parent. Its parent address is 1 and the left child address will be 1 - 1, that is 0. So in order to find the address of left child on number line, so basically I'll write here the left child will be basically present at parent -1 location and right child will be present at parent +1 location. Got the point? So if you want trying to find out the left child, then the left child of any particular parent will be present in the position p minus 1, where p is the address of the parent on the number line. And similarly, the right child will be present at p plus 1. I hope this intuition is clear. Now, how we are going to actually solve this particular problem, that is the top view problem. Now, you see, in the top view, when I am considering the top view of this particular problem, when I am considering the top view, what is happening is, so if you consider this particular node, so if you consider, the number line, so I hope you are getting it clear. How can we address, or how can we basically specify the position of each node on the number line? Now, how can we use this logic to solve our problem? What is our problem? To find the top view of any tree. So basically, if you focus on the tree, what happens is, basically the logic that we are going to implement is similar to the left view problem. Remember the left view of a tree? What we used to do in the left view? First of all, we should do basically a top to down traversal. That is a level order traversal was being done, and then at each node, so at each level, the first node should be printed, right? This is what we used to do in left view. A similar logic we are going to do here. We will traverse from top to bottom, right? We are going to traverse this tree from top to bottom using level order traversal. At the same time, we are going to keep track of the position of each nodes on the number line, right? The position of each nodes on the number line. What is the position of each node on the number line? And also we will keep track of two pointers, or two markers basically. Namely, there will be left marker, which will tell me what is the maximum point on left that you have traveled, okay, up to which end. And right marker will tell me what is the maximum point on the right that basically you have traveled, right? This will become more clear with the help of this example. So let me now quickly show you an example. So I am taking the same tree as below. Now see how it will work basically. So the problem is, the logic is very simple. What will I do is, I will assume that initially my root node is at position 0 in the number line. So let me just give you a position h is equal to 0 to the root node, okay? And if I talk about the left marker, initially left marker will be initialized to 1, right marker will be initialized to 0. Please note, initially I will basically initialize my left marker to 1 and right marker to 0. So now when I am in the root node, what happens? I will ask whether this node's position in the number line is less than its left marker, okay? Left marker, what is the value? Left marker value is 1, right? And the position of this node on the number line I am passing is 0. So yes, it is on the left. If true, we will have a stack basically, and we will push this node's data into the stack. So what will I push in the stack? 1 is pushed into the stack. Done. Now what will I do? I am basically doing a level order traversal, okay? So basically what I am going to do is, I will also have a queue, isn't it? Because it is a level order traversal. So I will be having a queue. So initially root was pushed into the queue. I popped it out, and then I just check whether its value, that is h is equal to 0, that is its position in the number line that I am visualizing, is less than the left marker, because left marker I have considered to be at 1. So yes, it is true. So we are just pushing it into the number line, into the stack, and we will push its children into the stack. So its children are nothing but 2 and 3. Now what will be the h marker of this h value of this children? Basically this is the left child, so its value will be h equal to -1, right? Okay. And one more thing, before moving to the left child, what we are going to do is, we know that left marker is going to keep track of the maximum point on the left that I have covered so far. So initially the value is 1. Initially left marker is at this point, but right now when I am considering this node whose h is equal to 0, now definitely 0 lies more left than 1, right? 0 lies to the left of 1. Definitely it means that I haven't visited this point right now so far. So I should basically update my left marker to 0. So my left marker will basically be updated to the value 0, because this is the most recent left value that you have covered, extreme left. So this left marker will keep on moving as much left as possible. So from 1 it came to 0, because 0 is basically less than 1. I'll put update 0 here. Now I will again call the function level order traversal, and I'll have this value as h is equal to -1. Okay, the value of h for this node will be h is equal to -1, and the value of h for this node, right node, will be h is equal to plus parent node plus 1, so 1. Done. So when this has h is equal to -1, now you will compare what, whether this -1 is less than the left marker. Left marker value is 0, which indicates that yes, your h value of this node is equal to -1, which is less than 0, which indicates that left marker has not traversed the point -1 so far, right? We have just covered this node, we have not visited this node till now, which means this is my first visit to this node, this particular point in the number line, which means this node should be taken into consideration. And if this node should be taken into consideration, we should update left marker to -1, right? This is already popped 2, we should update this to -1. And now what we should do, since this is considered, so this will be the part of my output, so I am just pushing it into the stack. So remember, the left child we will push into the stack. Okay, now it does not have any left and right children, so it will not do any level order traversal. It will just move to the next node of this level, that is node 3. This is the right child of this node. Okay, right child of this node. Now for the right child, I will check what is the maximum point on the right that I have visited so far. So right marker will tell me about that. So right marker says that till now you have not visited right, because your pointer is pointing to 0, and right marker value is 1. Now right now my h value is 1, which indicates that 1 is greater than 0, which means yes, this is the first time you are visiting point 1. So consider this node. So basically this is popped from the queue, and this node will be considered, and I will not store it into the stack. Instead I will store into the another queue, queue right. I will store it into another queue, queue right. So node 3 will be pushed into this queue right. I'll say you why. Okay, and node 3's children will be pushed into the queue for traversal again, for further level order traversal. Now considering, now my queue front is this. Next time what happens, my left child, this one, this particular value is what h is equal to. Okay, we have to update right marker. Right marker will be updated to what value? 1, right? Now next time, this node is at what position to the number line? I said you to find the left child's node point in the number line. Basically this node is at number 1, so this will be 1 less than the parent node, so 0. And this node is the right child of this node, so its position on the number line will be basically 1 plus 1, that is 2. So left child first I will consider. Now I'll check if its h value is less than the left marker. Left marker says that -1 is the extreme point that I have covered. So left marker is pointing to this point, and you are talking about this point. So basically left marker says that I have already covered a node which is already at this point 0, right? Because you see your left marker is at point -1 and you are at point 0, right? H is at point 0. So left marker is basically less than the point h. What does it indicate? It indicates that we have a node already at point 0 which was covered, right? See, so this node will be superimposed by this node, isn't it? Because my left marker right now is at this point, and I am talking about this point. So I will not consider any node which lies to the right of the left marker, right? I will not consider any node which lies to the right of the left marker, because my left marker is pointing to -1, right? So I will just ignore this node, because you see its value of h is not less than, instead it is greater than left marker. So if the value of h is greater than left marker, means if it is in the right of left marker, right? So what does it mean? It means I will not take this value, because this value will be hidden by another node. So I'll just ignore this. Then if it has any children, I'll push them into the queue, otherwise leave. So this is popped. Consider node 5. Node 5's h value is how much? 2. So I will check now, since this is the right child. For right child we check whether h value is greater than r marker. So what is the r marker value? R marker value is 1, which indicates that the right marker, so far you have just visited this node. You have not visited any node at point 2. So what happens? H is equal to 2, right marker is at point 1. So h value is greater than right marker, which indicates this is my first visit to the point 2 in the right side. So this node will definitely be considered. Right, this node should definitely be considered. And since this is the right child, and as I said you, the right child will be pushed into the queue. So pushed into 5. 5 is popped from this. What is the child of 5? 6. So push it into the queue here. This queue is for level order traversal. Next time this 6 will be picked. What is the value of h for this 6? The value of h for this 6 will be 1 less than the parent. Parent node is 2. This h value will be 1. So this is at point 1 in the number line. You see, this will be at point 1 in the number line. And for left value, we will check the left marker. Left marker value is what? Left marker value is basically -1. What does it indicate? It indicates that left marker has already reached at this point. And as I say you, if any node in the left, if any left child is in the right of the left marker, right here, like this is at point 1. Very previously was left marker was at point 1, right? Then we moved it to 0, then slowly to -1. So left marker has already traversed all the way to here. It has traversed all the way to -1. It indicates it has picked up all the nodes from point 1, point this and point this. So if there is any node again at point 1, then I will not take that, because this node will not be printed, not be viewed from the top, because this is superimposed by this node and this node has already been picked up. So again I will ignore this node. Got the point? So pop it. So what will be output? In order to store the output, you will have an output vector. What will you do is, you will pop out the elements from the stack and push it into the output vector. So 2 will be popped, pushed here, 1 will be popped, pushed here, and all the elements of this queue will be popped and pushed here. So 3 here, 5 here. Now I hope you understood that 2, 1, 3 and 5 is the top view. 2, 1, 3 and 5 is the top view of the tree. So I hope you understood the algorithm that we are going to use. The algorithm will be keeping track of the left marker, right marker and the current node's h value. This is enough to help you, and parallelly we will do the level order traversal. Okay, we will do the level order traversal and keep track of these things. So we will be able to find out our output. Now why did I use stack? I use stack because you see in the output you are not going to print 1 and then 2. Okay, you will print the leftmost element first. So this element is going to be printed first. Okay, so basically last, this will be basically like, last in first out, right? So this will be pushed into the stack last and it should come out first here. So 1, 2, so 2 should come here, 1 should come here, because this will give me the output 2, 1, 3 and 5. So for getting that sequence I am using stack, and the right child can be stored in any normal vector, but I am just using a queue here. Okay, so 3, 5, that's it. Now you just popping it, storing into the output vector, and popping it also and storing into the output vector, and you get the output. So I hope this particular algorithm is clear and easy to understand. Now I can quickly jump into the coding part. So I hope you will not get any trouble in understanding the working, okay, whatever I will be implementing. Please remember, I am going to use 3 things: a left marker, right marker and the point h. So left marker, right marker and the value of h. These 3 things will help me to basically implement this particular problem or solve this particular problem. Okay, alright, so let us now quickly jump into the discussion of this particular problem. Now let us just start solving the problem. So we have a function top view and we are going to store the output in the vector of integer. So as usual, I will be declaring a vector of integer first. So please pay attention to the steps that I am going to follow. I'll be very quick now because we have already discussed the algorithm. So vector of integer, name will be output. Done. Now when I come inside this top view function, first of all what we generally do is we just say output.clear. That's it. Now I will be calling a function solve, and while this function solve is being executed, the output vector will be updated, and finally when the function solve ends execution, I will be returning the output vector. This is the outer part of the code. Now what I am going to return in solve. So basically, as I said, that we are going to use 2 markers, left marker and the right marker, right, which will be accessible throughout the tree in each and every nodes. So I want them to be accessible throughout the tree at each and every node. So basically I should have left marker, that is I am writing L marker, which will keep track of the node at the left that you have, the maximum node at the left, the maximum point at the left that you have basically traversed. So as I said, initially I will keeping it to 1. Okay, and I will have R marker to 0. Done. And what we are going to do is basically we are going to pass a function solve, and I'll pass the root node. Okay, the root node means the very top node of the tree, comma, I'm going to pass the height of that, height in the sense h value. What will be the h value of this node? The h value of this node I am assuming to be 0, so I will pass 0, comma, I will pass the address of my left marker, comma the address of the right marker, R marker. Done. So you see, you can clearly see the left marker, right marker, the h value and the root. So root, h value, left marker, R marker. These things are basically passed initially to the function solve. So I'll be now defining the function solve. So my function solve will be of void type. So void solve. What are the arguments it received? It received a root node. So node star root, comma, anything else? Yes, definitely an integer value h, which is initially 0, and a pointers basically, and those pointers are nothing but integer pointers. So integer star L marker, comma integer star R marker. Got the point? So you can clearly see I am just declaring two pointers, left marker, right marker, which will basically store the address of the left marker and right marker variables declared inside the top view function, right? The functions that the variables that you declared at this point, these variables, their address I have passed, and these are basically pointers to that address. So all the updates will be taken directly at this particular address. Done. So what next? Now basically it's time to understand the problem. So I have basically declared my function void solve, receiving the root, h value, L marker, R marker. What are the data structure that we are going to use? As I said, we are going to use first of all a queue for performing the level order traversal. So for performing the level order traversal, we are using a queue. So let us declare a queue for that purpose. Initially, queue will be basically what? Okay, so before that, let us do a checking. What check? If root is equal to null, we know that that indicates clearly that the tree is empty. Then we will just return, right? Otherwise we are going to declare a queue. This queue will store what? Node pointers, because this will be used for, and I'll be naming it queue. Now I'm writing here used for level order traversal. That's it. Okay, so this particular queue basically will be used for level order traversal. What next? Now remember, this queue basically I will be declaring it of a pair of node comma integer. Okay, what will be the elements of this queue? These elements of this queue will be a pair of the address of that node and the h value. Okay, and the h value of that node, right? So remember, node star indicates the address of that node, and integer, this indicates the h value. That h value, remember this one, we know, isn't it? At every node you must have the corresponding h value. So this value and the address of the node will be stored in the queue. I'll show you the working, don't worry about it. So let me just now erase this thing so that I can show you the working properly. So these things can be erased so that I can show you the working properly, complete detail. Fine. So what did we do so far? So far we have declared a marker called L marker. The value is basically 1, and a value called R marker, the value of which is basically 0. And right now I have passed this particular point. I am declaring a queue for doing the level order traversal. So this is my queue that I'll be using for doing level order traversal. The name is queue. Done. Okay, what will be the elements? I'll be checking, don't worry. So since root is not null, so we know that in level order traversal we shall first of all push what? Queue dot push the root element, right? The root element will be pushed, that is its address will be pushed, and the value of h. What is the value of h I received? That h will be pushed here. Done. So let us do that in the queue. This is my queue. I have pushed the root's address. Now suppose I am just writing 1 here, but it is not actually 1, it is the address of 1, comma the h value is nothing but 0, because I had passed 0 here, right? That 0 will be copied here. So this is the element in the queue right now. What next? The level order traversal code we will write. So while my queue is not empty, while queue is non-empty, I will just declare a structure node star current. Okay, this structure node star current will be a pointer of node. Okay, it is a node pointer. It will point to what? The topmost, or the, you can say, queue dot front. Okay, so queue dot front dot first. So queue dot front is nothing but, you can see, you are storing the address of 1. Okay, so remember, this 1 is nothing but address of 1. Okay, this is the address of 1, and this is basically the h value. So since you are storing two elements in pair, okay, for all those who are beginners, so basically we are writing q dot front to access this element and specifying dot first to point out to this element and dot second to point out to this element. But I'm writing dot first because my address of pointer is here, the address of the node is here. So I'll say current will point to the q dot front dot first, that is it will point to this address, this node. So current will point to which node? Node 1. Got the point? So let me draw the node here, tree here. So this is my tree 1, tree 2, node 2, sorry, node 3, node 4, node 5, node 6. Current is pointing to node 1 right now. Okay, what should we do next? We should also store the h value. So we will say integer h is equal to, what is the h value? H value is nothing but q dot front dot second. You can see h value at that point is nothing but I'll point to this one, the node which I'm picking. So q dot front is nothing but this value, this pair value, dot second will give you the access to this value. So that will be stored in the value h. Now what is the condition that I used to check? You remember, I used to check if my h value is basically, if my h value is less than the value at left marker. Okay, initially my left marker is at point 1 and my h value is 0. So h is less than left marker, then what should we do? We should update the value at left marker immediately to value of h. Done. And I know that I am going to use this particular node of, because you see I'm considering this node, its h value is 0 and I have put my left marker to 1. So h less than left marker, which indicates this node needs to be taken into consideration in the output. So where I'm going to push it, I'm going to push it in the stack. So update the left marker to h. So update this to h. What will be the value of h? Value of h 0. Done. Remember, because left marker is keeping track of the leftmost point you have traversed so far. So left marker to 0 because this is left of 1. Now I am going to push this into the stack. So stack dot push what you are going to push the, okay, so after you have accessed the value of these things, the current pointer which is pointing to the first node, h pointing to the value of h of this front q dot front, you can directly say q dot pop. You can just pop this element because you have already accessed its values. You don't require this element to be in the queue anymore. So I am just popping it, its value I have already with me. Okay, so after popping, now you are just checking if h value is less than left marker, then you are updating the left marker, and at the same time you are pushing what? Current is pointing to this node. So the node where current is pointing, push its data. So current data will be pushed. Got the point? And what should we do? Now since we are doing stack dot push, so basically it is required to declare a stack. So I'll be declaring a stack. So stack of what? Stack of integers, because I'm just pushing integers value. Okay, let its name be stack, and I will also use a queue of integer to push the elements in the right side, right child. So queue right be the name. Done. So stack dot push current data. I hope this is clear. What do we do next? Next time we will check if, otherwise we will check there can, if it is not the left child, it might be the right child. So for right child, what will happen? Its h value will be greater than r marker. So if h value is found to be greater than r marker, what should we do? We should update the value of r marker to be equal to h, and we should push the right child into the queue, as I said. So q right dot push what? We are going to push q right dot push the current data. Okay, I'll show you the working. Don't worry about it. So it is done. All right. What next? Now simply we say if current left is not equal to null, means if there is a left child, then we just push into what? The queue for level order traversal, that is q dot push, because q is the queue that we are using for level order traversal. Q dot push current left. Remember, this queue is going to hold data in pairs. So current comma left, and what will be the height of the left child? Sorry, h value of the left child. H value of the left child will be current h value minus 1, right? So these two things are basically getting passed, and the left marker pointer and the right marker pointer. Then similarly we will say if current right not equal to null. then we are going to push current right. And what will be the height of the right child? As I said, the height of the right child is always 1 more the current h value. The height of the parent is h value of parent is h, and the h value of right child will be h plus 1, and left child marker and right marker. So you can see I am just pushing, sorry, why am this, I'm just pushing this, it should not be pushed. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay, because in the queue I will not push anything apart from this. In the queue we will only push this, isn't it? The pointer and the h value, the pointer and the h value, because this is what it is designed for. Queue structure is designed for pointer and the h value. Okay, sorry for that. So if current left not equal to null, that is if there is a left child, push the left child along with its h value. If the right child exists, push the right child with its h value. That is what you have to do here. So basically if I consider the working, so what happens is, I see, as I said, that this working is already done. Now I will push the children. Okay, let's do one thing, let's show you the working. So remember what I have done so far. I have pushed this into the queue, then I have accessed its value of current and h value. Now h value is basically less than left marker, so I updated the left marker 0, and I should push this value into the stack, current data into the stack. So I will basically have a stack. So this is the stack, and I'm going to push the value into the stack. So if I push the value into the stack, what will be pushed? 1 will be pushed. Done. Great. So and h value, next time here it will come here and it will say h value greater than r marker. So definitely it is not, because h value right now is how much? 0, and the r marker is also 0, so it will not execute this part. What will happen? It will come here. If left child exists, then what we are going to do? If left child exists, so what we are going to do is basically, let me show you. Alright, so we are going to push now the child of 1, that is 2 and 3. So we are going to push 2 along with the value of h for 2 will be nothing but -1, because 1 less than this. Remember how we are pushing here? Here we are doing, isn't it? Yeah, this one, h minus 1. And the right child is nothing but 3. So 2, first of all 2 comma -1, and I will also push 3 comma 1. Why? The value of h for this will be 1 more than the parent, h plus 1, right? So this is how I will be pushing it into the queue. Next time what will happen, this will be basically my current will now point to, in the next time my current will point to this 2, current will point to this node, right? So the value of basically current will be pointing to here, and the value of h will now be -1. So I will basically check if h is less than left marker, and left marker value is 0, true. H is less than left marker, it is also true, because h is value -1, which is less than 0. So it asks me to update the value of left marker. So left marker becomes -1. Done. I should push this element into the stack. So 2 should be pushed into the stack. 2 is pushed into the stack, and h value of this is -1, which is not greater than right marker, because right marker is still 0. So no problem, this will not be executed. If it has any left and right child, push them, but it does not have any left and right child, so don't worry. Move to the node 3. So current will now point to node 3. When current is pointing to node 3, then h value will be basically 1. Now you will check h less than left marker, h's value is 1, left marker is -1, so definitely false, it will not be executed. This one will be executed because h is greater than the right marker, which indicates this is the first time you are visiting a node which lies in the number line 1, right? The first time, you can say this node is the first time. So basically this node's data will be basically taken into account. Right marker will be updated to h value, so right marker will become 1 now, the maximum value, and the right we are taking. So where I'm going to push this, I'm going to push this in the q right. So q right is the q. I'm going to push this value there. Oh, it's become it's very small. So q right will receive what? The value of q right will be nothing but value 3. Now what happens? It says me if there are any left and right child, push them. So definitely now these are popped, isn't it? Once they are used, they are basically getting popped. So the child are 4 and 5 definitely. So 4 and 5. So 4 value. What is the h value for 4? It will be 1 less than this value. So 0. What will be the right child value? 5 comma. Its value is 1. So right child value will be 2. 1 plus 1 2. Again same thing happens. You are at this point. So current will point to 4. This will be popped. H value is basically how much? 0. Is 0 less than left marker? Definitely not, because you see 0 is here, left marker right now is pointing to -1. So what does it indicate? It indicates that you have already gone through this level, means you have already completed, visited a node that is at point 0. That is why you have come this point, right? So that is why 4 will not be taken into consideration, so this will not be executed. H greater than R marker, this is also false, this will also be not be executed. If it has got any children, then I'll push them, but it has no children, so don't do anything. Consider this one, current will point to 5,2 here. So what happens? H value is basically 2. Is this less than the left marker? False. Is this greater than right marker? True. So since it is greater than the right marker, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to update the right marker to 2. It indicates that this is my first visit at point 2. So 5 will basically be the right child, so it is taken into the queue right. 5 is pushed here. Done. And what next? If it has got any children, push them into the queue. So 6 comma, what it is the left child of this, so what is the value? H minus 1. So H value here is 2, so its left child value will be 1, 6 comma 1. When you come here, again you will basically consider a current pointer to point to this node. Okay, so the value of H for this node is nothing but what? 1. Is this less than left marker? False. Is this greater than right marker? False. You can see because right marker has already come to this point, left marker has already come to this point, which means it has visited all the nodes between them. This is the indication, which means if you are in this range, then you cannot be seen from the top, isn't it? Because I have already completed all the nodes in this between this range. So simply pop it and don't do anything. So now we already have our output in the stack and queue right. So it's time to put them into the output vector. So after completely executing this, when my queue is empty, what I'm going to do is I'll say while stack is not empty, while stack does not becomes empty, you just say that output dot pushback the stack dot top value, right, and simply do stack dot pop. So this way we will be able to put all the elements of this after popping into the output vector. So if this is my output vector, so first of all what will happen, I will pick up 2 because this is the topmost element. 2 pushed here, 1 pushed here, 2 and 1 are already pushed. Now basically we are going to consider the queue. So while queue right is not empty, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say output dot pushback what, queue right dot front. Done. And what you are going to say, just say queue right dot pop. That's it. So this way basically we will be successfully able to pop these elements 3 and 5 and insert here. So 2, 1, 3 and 5 will be my output vectors value. So 2, 1, 3 and 5, and this is what is the top view, right? So here it is. We were successfully able to write this particular code, and you can see after this you don't have to do anything. We are just going to return the output. So let us see if this code works fine and compile the code. So we really had done a lot of hard work. Already 38 minutes gone, but I hope this video will be helpful. So somewhere we are doing slight mistake. Let us see what is the issue. So they say that no matching function for qroot comma h. So okay, anyway, let us see what the issue is. Line number 110. Okay, the elements here 110, you see, we have to push into pair, and in order to push into pair you have to write these brackets. Okay, keep them in the bracket. This is how you should push in pairs. Are we pushing into pairs in any other places? Okay, q dot push, just see. So yeah, here you see we have to close the bracket because we are pushing in pairs. Here also we should put them in curly brackets. Fine, it's working fine now. Let us see. Compile the code. Let me erase the whole screen. Okay, stack dot top, line number 135. Okay, we are just missing the parenthesis. 135. So this one. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, the output is 2, 1, 3. Definitely it should be the output. 1, 2, 3, the output will be 2, 1 and 3. It is working fine. Let us submit it. So it should definitely work fine right now, and it should be executed successfully. So that's it. We have successfully completed the code, and I hope this video was really helpful and intuitive. In case of any doubt, please feel free to put it out in the comment section. Just like, share and subscribe. And yes, considering the time complexity, definitely we are just doing level order traversal, and during the level order traversal only we are just trying to implement this code. So every node is basically being visited only once, so order of n is the time complexity. Getting the point? So this is all about this video. I hope this video was helpful and intuitive. In case of any doubt, please feel free to put it out in the comment section. Just like, share and subscribe. Thank you.